Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into a genuinely fascinating and honestly incredibly practical turnaround story. We're going to look at a step-by-step playbook of how a student went from completely failing a university stats course, and hey, we all know that universal dread of college statistics, right? To actually passing it. And they did this using nothing but free AI tools and a super strict 6-week strategy. So if you have ever felt hopelessly behind in a subject, this explainer is going to show you exactly how to dig your way out.
Let's start with a really harsh reality. 48%. It is week 7 of the semester, and this student is sitting just below the passing line. And because statistics is a cumulative subject, the gap between where they are and where they need to be, it isn't shrinking, it's actively growing with every single assignment.
You know, when you're sitting at a 48% in week 7, you don't even necessarily feel panic anymore. It's more like paralysis. You've tried all your normal study methods, and they just haven't worked. In a cumulative subject like this, missing week 2 means week 3 literally makes 0 sense. By week 5, you are just genuinely lost. That tiny gap becomes a massive chasm, and you have absolutely no idea where to even begin.
And then there's the terrifying math of the whole situation, the ticking clock. The final exam is just 6 weeks away, and it's worth a massive 45% of the total grade. To just pass the course, the student needs at least a 65% on that final, but their absolute best score in anything all semester was a 52. So they need a huge leap in performance, and they only have 6 weeks to pull it off.
Phase 1. Mapping the damage.
So where exactly do you start? Well, you don't just blindly open a textbook and start reading. Before you can fix a failing grade, you really have to diagnose the root cause. To do this, the student turned to Claude and used this brilliantly specific prompt. They pasted in their entire course syllabus and told the AI, "Ask me diagnostic questions, one at a time. Stop when you found the topic where I first have no solid understanding." They basically hired the AI to interrogate them, rating their answers to find the exact moment their comprehension broke down.
This 20-minute diagnostic completely changed the game. The student had assumed they started struggling around week 2, but the AI revealed a pretty shocking truth. Their foundational understanding of week 1's topic, probability, was completely missing. They'd just been memorizing formulas early on without actually understanding them, which meant everything built on top of that was built on sand. It was discouraging for sure, but also incredibly clarifying. They finally had a real starting point.
Phase 2. Rebuilding the foundation.
With 5 weeks left until the exam, they blocked out an hour and a half every single day to rebuild their knowledge from the ground up, going all the way back to week 1. And the engine for this turnaround? An AI-powered version of the Feynman technique. Instead of just asking Claude to explain things to them, the student flipped the script entirely. First, they explained the concept to Claude in their own words. Second, the AI, acting like this tireless, totally unannoyed tutor, pointed out exactly where the logic broke down and corrected it. Then third, Claude generated 3 targeted practice problems on that specific concept for the student to solve. So the loop was explain, correct, practice, concept by concept.
But what about the actual complex math? For computational accuracy, they brought in a second tool, Wolfram Alpha. Now, Claude was absolutely perfect for the conceptual why, but Wolfram Alpha is unmatched for the how. It doesn't just spit out a final answer. It actually shows you every single step of the mathematical working. So, by using Claude for the broad concepts and Wolfram Alpha to see exactly where their math went wrong, this student covered the entire syllabus in just 2 weeks.
Okay, Phase 3. Exam preparation.
Now we are 3 weeks out. The foundation is rebuilt, but now it's time for actual exam prep. Because as we all know, casually studying at your desk is very different from real test taking. Understanding the material in the comfort of your room with an AI tutor is entirely different from performing under serious pressure. You really have to train your brain to retrieve this information while timed, with no notes, facing problems you've literally never seen before.
So they used ChatGPT to simulate the real thing. Listen to the constraints they used in this prompt. Create a statistics practice exam at university level. Match the difficulty of a real final. No answers yet. I'll attempt it first under time conditions. They also asked for specific question types, like multiple choice, short calculation, and interpretation. This created a highly realistic 90-minute crucible to test if they were actually ready.
On that first practice exam, sitting with their phone away and notes closed, they scored a 58. Honestly, much better than they'd done all semester, but still short of the 65 they needed to pass. So they pasted their answers back into ChatGPT, had it grade the exam, and asked it to pinpoint their weakest area. The AI flagged interpretation questions, so the next day, they drilled interpretation. Over 3 weeks generating a fresh exam each week, their scores progressed from 58 to 67 to 71. The trend was officially moving in the right direction.
Phase 4. The final week.
This takes us right to the wire. Now, this is exactly where most students panic and try to cram, but our student did the exact opposite. Their strategy shifted entirely from learning new material to pure consolidation. The absolutely crucial goal here is managing anxiety and trusting the system. During that final week, they asked ChatGPT for a daily rapid review of just 5 question types. If they made a systematic error, they spent 30 minutes fixing it, and that was it. And the night before the exam, 0 studying, no cramming. They just reviewed a single page of their own handwritten notes and slept for a full 8 hours. They just trusted the work they had put in.
The earned result.
Okay, let's get to the payoff. And I really want to emphasize the word earned here, because this is not a story about some overnight miracle or unlocking hidden genius. Here is the final breakdown. Remember, they went to this final exam with a 48% average. They took the final and they scored a 71%. Because that exam was worth almost half their grade, their final course grade came out to a 59%. A pass. Now, is it glamorous? No. Is it an A+? Definitely not. But it is a pass in a cumulative course that felt absolutely impossible to solve as just 6 weeks prior. It just goes to show you don't need exceptional talent. You just need the right tools, applied consistently.
Let's summarize this into a quick 4-step AI playbook that you can apply right now. Step 1, find your actual starting point using a diagnostic AI prompt. Seriously, it's probably way earlier in the syllabus than you think. Step 2, rebuild those foundational concepts in order using the Feynman technique. Step 3, generate fresh practice exams and take them under real, timed conditions. And finally, Step 4, stop studying the night before. Trust the work you've done.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. What subject are you struggling with right now, and how many weeks do you actually have left? Because every single week you wait to act is a resource you are spending, and it's a week you are never gonna get back. You have the blueprint, you have the tools, so why not start your turnaround tonight?